to Talking Law with attorney Daryl O'Neill and a special guest host, attorney Jerome Payne. Live TV talk on your digital device, on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the SVP TV app right now. Check us out every Tuesday on Comcast Cable, Channel 17, 8:30 p.m. And we are live every Friday on Facebook Live, 6 o'clock in the evening. You've got a question, our attorneys have the answer. So let's talk law with attorney Daryl O'Neill on the SVP TV network.
Welcome to Talking Law with Daryl O'Neill. I'm your host. I got my main man, Jerome, with me.
What's up, Daryl?
Hey, man, today I got a special guest with me, y'all.
All right.
I got my girl with me here.
Yes.
I got Miss Misty O'Neill with me. I mean, she's got some real stuff, y'all, so we're going to have some fun today.
Yes.
You know, we hadn't done this in a while, Jerome. We had been a little off for a little bit, but, we need to give our shout-outs.
Yes.
Got to go all the way to the West Coast and say shout out to California, shout out to Arkansas, Little Rock, shout out to West Memphis, Arkansas, shout out to Memphis, Shelby County, shout out to Mississippi, shout out to my wife, my son, my daughter, my mom.
Hey, Mom.
Shout out to the great state of Missouri.
And Jerome's wife.
And Jerome's wife. And Jerome's children.
What's she going to say?
Because, we talking about everybody else, but
That's
Jerome's wife.
That's right.
So
right.
we got to give our shout out to Jerome and his family.
Right.
So Jerome, what we need to talk about, man, I mean, this is, years and times are coming up, and man, somebody said to me the other day, I got more years behind me than I got in front of me.
In front of me.
So
Wow.
yeah. So that's and why I want to say that, Jerome, is today, we need to be talking about, again, estate planning.
Yes. Yes.
And Misty, I know normally, and most people don't know this, something that you started in your practice and now is a lot of probate matters.
Right.
So we really want to talk about a little of the things that you deal with that. And Jerome, you've done estate and probate matters for years.
For a while now, yes.
Well, why is probate so important? Why is estate planning so important? Help me out, Mister.
Oh.
Well, beauty before age.
I thought you were going to say beauty before the beast. I was like, man, what is this?
No, beauty before age.
All right.
My experience, people, I know that people don't want to face the idea of their own mortality,
right.
Which, it is a daunting idea,
Yes.
because you don't know what's on the other side waiting for you. But mostly you got to get it together because, it's going to cause a bunch of chaos, when you're not here, especially if you're the matriarch of the family or the patriarch of the family and your family is not going to get along when you pass away.
Oh, my God.
If they do, that's an exception.
Oh, my God. Well, listen, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was at Golden United Methodist Church at a seminar, and I said exactly, your words are almost exactly. I could see myself standing and saying, Pookie and Ray Ray are not going to get along. So why would you leave it to them and expect to have peace?
Well, and
you're going to be rolling over in your grave.
And the sad part of that, Jerome, and Misty, is that they did. Pookie wasn't worth a poop when you were alive.
And you knew that.
Right. And you knew it wasn't worth a poop. Right. So why all of a sudden you going to say, when I die, Pookie going to be...
I'm going to leave it in his hands.
Pookie going to really take it.
Watching too many movies. That is not reality.
And I also told him, I said, whatever you do not have 2 or 3 people in charge.
No.
Only in Scripture where it says 2 or 3 joined together, is it going to work? That's not going to work, people. And so what we're trying to do is to emphasize the importance of doing something now before it becomes a need. Because failing to plan, you plan to fail.
Yeah. And it's funny, in my office, when people come in, and I've had people do this a lot of times, and they've asked, can I have 2 people on my power of attorney? Can I have 2 people as my executor?
Get the same
And I tell them all the time, you may be able to do that, but not here.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do it.
No.
I mean, again, look,
That's a great point there. I mean, why would you do something when you already know that it's not going to work?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that makes sense to me.
well, I mean, and think about it, and I don't want people to get this really twisted, because the fact of it is, it's your plan.
Yes.
And it's just your plan, to handle things, your affairs, after you're not here.
That's right.
So I get that.
That's
so
right.
it's your plan, and you should be the master of your complaint. And I don't have a problem with you being the master of your complaint.
Right.
I'm not going to help you commit crazy. Because if you have more, look, if I'm in charge, it is without a doubt I'm in charge, because the document says I'm in charge.
That's right.
But if I'm in charge, and Misty's in charge, and Jerome in charge, well, which one of us in bigger charge?
Yes. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And in fact, Darryl, that's what I said. I said that even with us as attorneys, you put 5 attorneys in the same room, ask the same question, and you will get 5 different answers
That's right.
on how to proceed.
That's
So
right.
certainly a layperson would not know how to navigate in that situation. And so the best thing to do is, while cooler heads are prevailing, sit down and have a reasonable conversation and come up with something that's designed to work, because that is going to fail. I know. You remember Sam Perkins, don't you?
I do.
Sam Perkins once told. I went to a seminar where Sam was one of the leaders, and he was talking to his client, and his client said, "I'm going to tell the truth. I'm just going to tell the truth." Sam said, "That's all right. You can tell that truth, but that truth going to get you 25 years." Go ahead and tell it. You're going to get 25 years for that proof. So what I'm saying is that you have to be rational about who it is that's going to, because you won't be able to come back and straighten it out.
That's right.
So it's gotta, look, there is no mending or how we amend complaints. It's just like I heard you say earlier, Misty. The judge says, you can go back and amend your complaint and straighten. That you just can't do that with this.
Once you die, you don't come back and say, "Man, I knew I should have changed something."
That's right.
That's the same concept with a living will too, with the power of attorney.
Yeah.
It's better to, first of all, you don't just say, I'm gonna, like it's like me saying, Dad, I'm gonna take power of attorney over you. He's gonna get lost.
That's right.
You sit down and have a conversation.
Exactly.
And you talk to that parent, or you talk to your sibling, or you talk to whoever, and you say, listen, I kind of noticed some things are going a little awry. Would you like me to help you? You don't just, because if you come in and you're just trying to take over,
Right.
Nobody expects to lose their mind.
That's right.
Nobody expects to become incapacitated mentally.
Right.
It's better to have these different precautions in place, but nobody expects
That's right.
to develop dementia or horrifying Alzheimer's. Nobody expects to develop those things. But you can't just come in and take over and
That's
be
right.
like,
That's just-
hey, I'm gonna, I see you doing this, and I'm gonna put myself on all your bank accounts. That's a crime.
And in fact, that's exactly the last time you and I had a conversation about probate. We talked about when someone starts to become deathly ill, and it looks like their days are numbered. It's like all the people start circling around like buzzers.
vultures.
Yeah.
Well,
They start appearing. How Mama doing today? Don't really care how Mom, but we want to know if she's on the last leg or not. So that's what we're trying to avoid in this situation.
Well, and let me just tell you something here. I learned something. Well, I always knew this, but it got emphasized.
Right.
And that is, if you are the power of attorney of somebody, you are that person.
I like that.
And what you need to be making sure you're doing is you need to be making decisions that's for the benefit of that
I
person.
like that. Yeah.
And you have a fiduciary or a legal obligation to that person.
That's right.
That's right.
And what I learned the other day is if you have a power of attorney for somebody and you start doing things on behalf of that person, using that power of attorney that benefit you,
Oh my goodness.
that gives the impression of undue influence.
Oh, for sure.
So you have to be careful. You know, a power attorney does not give you carte blanche to do whatever it is that you think needs to be done.
That's right.
It's for the benefit of the person who gave you that power of attorney.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so I learned, I knew that,
yeah.
but it got re-emphasized. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you where it got re-emphasized at. In a courthouse. That's the last place you want that to be
You are
re-emphasized.
so correct. You're so correct.
So when you're doing stuff, you know, if you're the power of attorney for somebody, which means that you are that person, you need to make sure that if somebody looks at a decision that you made, they're going to say, that makes sense. That's what Mama wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Not that, man, you transferred that to yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that don't make a lot of sense.
Right,
When
right.
she got 15 kids.
Right, right, right.
I mean, you may be the favorite, but there's at least one other person.
Well, we
she
don't.
would want
Well, we don't use that term there.
Favorite.
Yeah, we don't use that term there. Parents don't have no favorites. all of my children the same. And
I love all my children the same.
But see,
But we do love them all the same. But Pookie is not the one that you want to be doing things.
And so-
I don't trust them all the same.
But that leads up to another situation too, is that we have to make the person who is in the office to have the services done, make it clear to all parties who the client is.
Right. That's right.
I don't care how big your checkbook is. I don't know how much money you have poured into it.
Mm-hmm.
My client is this person.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's my job to make that person feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will go to a secluded part of the office where that person will be free of any kind of outside influence, and make sure, because nobody wants to be in front of one child talking about benefiting another child.
right.
And so that's why we give them complete privacy in a secluded area and assure them that no one would ever know what we discussed because of attorney-client privilege.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, and Missy, I mean, this is, and you know, in our office, I don't even do the probate matters or the estate planning anymore. I mean, they all go to Miss Taylor.
Oh, okay, great. Okay.
Yeah.
And I put anybody that's not the client out.
Right,
And
that's
then I
exactly right.
asked the client specific. If I asked the client, do they even want that person to be in the room?
Right.
Most of the time, they're okay with the person being.
Well,
in the room.
I don't think I would say that in front of them. I think I would automatically exclude them.
Okay.
And then when we got in seclusion, do you want?
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I put the other person out.
Right,
and
right.
then, you know, I asked the client
And
alone.
that's right. And then the client said, "Oh yeah, I don't care. Susie can come in because she already knows everything. That's fine." And then we talked about some other. And Eddie was there too. Eddie Jones was there, who is the probate court clerk. My goal is to avoid seeing Eddie Jones. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I want all of these things to pass outside of probate. If it goes into probate, somebody failed to do something. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that, you know, there's been some very interesting scenarios that have arisen over time where people thought they destroyed documents.
Oh.
You know, people thought that oh no, Mama didn't have a codicil, Daddy didn't have a codicil, and then you find the codicil.
Okay.
Like, you know, or, you know, where you have a situation, just different situations where, no, my spouse or my mom or my dad would have done that.
Okay.
That's not what they wanted. And, you know, just chaos. And so you have to sometimes take that document that purports to be a will.
That's wonderful because you know you and I talk about it all the time too. There, you can call it a will all day long, but until one of the probate court judges, and there are only two of them, who have the authority to actually determine
That's right.
that it is in fact a will.
That's right.
Because even in the presentation of it, we say, Your Honor, among the books, papers, and effects of Ms. Jones, there was a document found that purported to be her last will and testament. And then the judge said, well, okay, Mr. Payne, put your evidence on. Let me see if, in fact, it truly is. In fact, it will. And then at the end of that presentation, the judge would say, I will admit this as the last will and testament of Mrs. Jones.
That's right.
Until that happens, you just got a piece of paper in there.
You know, and it's funny, and Misty is learning probably more than she wants to know about document failures. I mean, you know, we've had a couple scenarios where there have been catastrophic document failures.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And you know, and let me just tell you,
Because it's all controlled by statute.
it's all controlled by statute.
And you gotta hit boom, boom. It's like the Super Mario Brothers. Boom,
Right,
boom,
right,
boom,
yeah,
boom,
right.
boom, boom. Yeah.
There's only one lawyer in the United States that I hate, and I hate that lawyer with all my. I don't just like him. I hate that lawyer.
I know who it is because I told them last week too.
Yeah.
Who it is.
and that's Google.
Yeah, right.
And the problem with Google and Google lawyers is that it have a tendency to mislead you or make you believe that you can do something this way.
Right.
And every state has a specificity that you have to be able to
That's
hit.
exactly
right.
correct.
And that's what we're learning, that, you know, people are, well, I decided to do it myself.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just wrong.
Yeah.
It's wrong, wrong, wrong.
And let me just tell you, if you out there doing wills for your family or yourself, 99% chance it's wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Not 100%, because, you know, my dad used to say, you know, the sun shine on a dog butt every now and then. So there's a 1% chance that somebody gonna get it right.
Right.
And 1% chance.
Right. And failing to do each and every one of those steps.
Every one of them.
Just
And some of them are detrimental.
Yeah.
Like the will is not, this document is not going to be accepted no matter what
that's
you
right.
do to fix it.
And all persons who are signing the will must be in the same area
That's right.
at the same time
That's right.
and witness everybody signing at the same time. You know what I'm
With
saying?
the notary.
Otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, and let me tell you, Jerome, this is what we used to do in our office, and we actually had to go back and change our entire process.
Right.
And it's, I don't know why we were doing it, because the statute
It's clear.
is clear.
Right.
So what we would do is we would do your will, and then we would do an attestation clause,
Okay.
and then we would do an affidavit,
I remember you talked about that, yeah.
Testamentary
Yeah.
affidavit.
a testamentary affidavit.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
That's what we do.
Right.
And we thought that that was enough. What we found out, it is enough for the will, but it's not enough for that will to pass without witnesses testifying.
Right.
You have to have a self-authenticating,
Right.
or you have to have a affidavit that says that the people that are these witnesses were above the age of 18.
That's right.
They were of sound mind.
That's right.
And then they saw these signatures and their signatures being saw in the same place.
Right.
right.
And the thing about it, too, is that no one has to know what the contents of the document is.
Right.
But they have to know that this is the last will and testament
That's
that
right.
you are witnessing.
That's right.
Yep.
Right.
So here's a question. You know, we always take these questions that we get on the show.
Yeah.
It says, if there's a living will, but we found a letter stating different wishes than said in the will, which document is honored? Tough. So it's a living will.
Is the person still alive or are they no longer
No,
with us?
they would have to be no longer with
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, so they're no longer, because the person died.
Okay.
And, well, I see what you're saying.
So, because the living
Living
will,
will
power
yeah,
of attorney
right,
dies
right,
with
right,
the,
right.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
the person
Oh,
who gives
okay.
it. Yeah, that's why I was asking.
Okay,
That's what-
see that?
Law school 101.
Yeah, okay. All right, educate your dad, baby.
That's right.
Educate your dad. Okay, she's right. The word living will
That's right.
means that the person's
Person's
living.
still
at the
living.
time.
Right.
That's exactly
That
right.
is the power of attorney.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's funny that so that makes this question a different question.
That's right. That's right.
Get out of here.
That's
Y'all,
right.
look at y'all.
Right,
I'm
right.
scared
I
of
was like,
y'all.
are they no longer with us?
So, but we found a letter stating different wishes than said in the living will.
Okay.
So the living will dies when the person dies.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
So
Also, say a power of attorney at the same time.
Yeah.
Also, a power of attorney dies at the
yeah,
same
a
time.
living will and a power of attorney
Dies at the same
dies
time.
at the same
Right.
Because what it means is living, and if a person died,
That's right.
it dies.
Right.
So the question becomes: is that subsequent or that later document is a true will?
Well, you can't call it a will. No way. It's just because it does not meet all of
Well,
the
we don't
criteria
know
to be
yet.
a will.
Well, it may be a holographic.
There you go.
Yeah, it may be a written will.
Because it says a letter. So
Okay.
if it's a letter and it's handwritten
And it's signed
and
at
it's
the end.
signed at the end,
Okay.
and it gives wishes,
Okay.
then we can call it my favorite one, holographic will.
And you know what? That's what I told when I got a question from the audience last week. I said, what you've presented is a fact pattern.
Yeah.
For us to work through. And that's what we keep doing. We keep spotting these issues, and the issues make the answer change every time
That's
you see a
right.
new issue.
That's right.
So you're right. You're absolutely right. It could be a holographic will.
Right.
Because it contains the information, the person signed it, all parties recognize that as being the handwriting
That's
of the person.
Right.
That's right.
So it could pass that way. Now, that's out. It's not. It wasn't a holographic.
Well,
it's just a letter with somebody saying some things.
Then it's-
it was typewritten.
It's dead.
And they had each one number one. They had it itemized down.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't say it's dead.
They'll say, I'm
I
glad you
would-
said, there's a good chance it's going to be
Right. It's a good chance it's dead.
Right.
But it under no circumstances would it qualify as a will.
That's right.
Right.
But it's a possibility it could be directives. You follow what I'm saying? So the family members don't really know exactly what to do. But if it's a letter from mom, no matter how it comes up about, at least they will have some idea what was on mom or dad's mind
Well,
when they passed away.
see, now that's where I'm going to struggle. See,
Yeah.
I'm not certain I'm
Well, you
agree
can
with
have an idea of what mom and daddy wanted, but there's nothing legally that requires any family member to enforce it.
Correct.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying in the face of having nothing.
Oh, okay. I get what you're
At
saying.
least you have something, because when my parents died, the question was, what do you think Mama would do about the fur coat? Or what would she do about her jewelry? She always said, every time we were together, she said that, Joyce really looks nice in my coat.
You had a nice family.
And if I pass away, I'm gonna give that to Joyce.
Okay.
Because something has to happen to distribute the bounty of the decedent. And so that gives you some idea how to do it.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
But
Well-
somebody in your family, I don't know if y'all seen the movie Wall Street. Somebody in your family is going to turn into Gordon Gekko. Like, somebody's going to turn into a whole supervillain.
No doubt. No doubt.
And that
But-
paper means nothing. Mama ain't here no more.
But at least we will have some idea. You follow what I'm saying? I'm just talking about
Yeah.
and it may work in some families
Yeah.
when everybody sit down and so when cooler heads prevail.
Yeah.
So everybody sit down and say, yeah, I do remember mom saying X, Y, and Z. I'm just saying at least you have some directives. Now, when you get ready to distribute, maybe you can come up with an idea how to distribute. Based
see,
on that.
See, and that's where I start to struggle, Jerome.
Okay.
Okay, so because in my mind, we got two different concepts. We have what I believe my mother and father, or my mother. or
No,
whomever-
and I believe she wrote it.
Yeah. Well, and the reason why I say believe,
Okay.
because we saying that she wrote it,
Right.
is a moral potential obligation. But all I have, because when you come see me, all I am concerned with is with a legal obligation.
Okay.
ethical.
An ethical or legal obligation.
Okay.
And this document that's a letter does none of those things.
What do you do, Danny? What do you do?
It's
what
in
do you do?
testate succession.
Yeah.
It's in testate succession, and it goes just like the chain. If mom and dad died and they had 4 kids, it's split equally among the 4 children
Per stirpes.
per stirpes.
Then
'Cause-
it's a whole chain of
But,
statute.
now-
but remember, we're not talking about cash. We're not talking about jewelry.
Well, courts are not going to look at trinkets now because remember, Judge Gomes is notorious for saying this.
What's she gonna say?
I'm not looking for these trinkets.
I don't transfer trinkets.
Oh, really?
No.
We don't do trinkets here.
Okay, all right. So I wasn't
the
aware
court,
of that.
Yeah, the court is not going to do that.
I got you, okay.
So if it's a trinket, the court's not going to do it.
I got you, okay.
And the parties can work through it.
Okay, all right.
Because but if it's tangible, and let me just say, trinkets is not a good word, because in Shelby County, we have a small estate
Right.
process or a small estate affidavit.
That's right.
So if you have anything that's less than $50,000, and which is not a trinket, but if you have anything less than $50,000, you don't have to truly go through the big court. You can do a small estate affidavit, identify what those things are, and transfer them without court interference, unless it's real property.
That's right.
Can't transfer any real property through a small estate.
And it's been 45 days since the death.
I think it's 45 days.
45 days.
Yeah.
But and Eddie talked about it too on Saturday about the person doing it will oftentimes only mention one sibling.
I've had it with one sibling, the spouse.
They ain't got nobody else, ain't got no
act like
spouse.
nobody else exists,
Right,
because this not my kid. These ain't my kids.
Right.
You know,
That's,
who can
that's
don't
what,
belong to
right.
me.
That's where the problem
Well,
comes in
kinda
at. So.
stuff.
Well, one of the things that they do, which is commendable to me, is even when they do a small estate, you are required to get a bond.
That's right.
And the reason why the court is cognizant, or it's thoughtful, the court is thoughtful
Yes.
that people lie.
Right.
Now you say in that small affidavit to state that you're swearing that the information you provide is truthful and out of under the perjury. But the reason why the court requires you to get a bond is because people lie.
Yeah.
You either have to get a bond, or you have to have the consent of all of the heirs.
all the
and
heirs.
It's a specific form
Okay.
here in Shelby County that you
Okay.
have to fill out.
Yeah.
And all the heirs have to sign it. It has to be notarized.
Well, remember they only put down one name. There are no other heirs. I'm the only one.
Yeah.
Look, no, you're gonna pay a bond.
It's me alone. Anybody else? Look, the person is married, 4 or 5 children. But it's me alone.
Just you gonna pay a bond.
That's that old Pookie nonsense. See, that's what Pookie do. All right, well, look, y'all, we done rolled through her. Look, thank you for watching the show. I appreciate Misty. I appreciate you being here.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Pop.
You always trying to
Yeah.
get time. Yeah.
And y'all, my guys always with me.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching the show. We'll see you back next week.
Can you actually imagine hosting your next event at the all-new SVP Banquet and Event Center? Yes, spacious, beautiful venue with plenty of parking, located in the heart of East Memphis. Let us host your next intimate birthday gathering, family repast, bachelorette party, wedding and reception, baby shower, corporate meeting, social club event. Call us today. Don't wait. 901-244-6874. The all-new SVP Banquet and Event Center.